Welcome once again, people. And today's topic will be on survival and chaos, and the fact that there's a very, very thin line between survival and chaos. What do I mean by survival? When I talk about survival, I'm talking about someone who somehow does not have his shit together. He's still his life is not well put. He has not done the necessary work to get his life in order, and all he's doing is surviving, kind of like paycheck to paycheck, and he never really gets to do the things that he wants. But he kind of the person gets the necessary needs. Food and shelter is there, but he cannot really maintain that lifestyle. He's the life that he wants is rather beyond his means, and he's unable to really live the way he intends to. And so what happens is that he's always in need, especially he's in need of especially money, and this person is usually in debt, and usually is in the mercy of people. So when disaster strikes, he usually is running to people for help, which in itself is not a bad thing. But if there's a constant lifestyle, that's a constant thing you're doing, then what you're doing is just surviving. And this person usually won't take the necessary means to make sure that he secures a lifestyle that is better maintained, that a lifestyle that he can be free from debt, he can be free from other people's mercy, whereby he does not need to ask for favors always, or ask for help. And this person usually will fall into all sort of chaos if he's not able to come up with a solution to his survival. This goes way back. Surviving is not something to be afraid of. We humans have been surviving for millions of years, right? Back then, when our ancestors were in the jungle, we had to survive harsh environments, starvation, famine, wild beasts, animals, and all that. So all of that is very natural for man to survive. But in modern times, just surviving is not enough, because we have no threat now. We don't have the threat of saber-tooth tigers, and mammoth who are gonna trample upon our dwellings. Harsh environments, we're able to better maintain our environment. So the surviving now isn't the same as our ancestrals' survival. And so it's back then, I guess it was more physical, and there wasn't much to think about in intellectually or mentally. But now, people who are surviving and they're in severe survival mode, this will take a very, very huge toll on their psyche. And that's the very reason that most people are mentally disturbed. It's because that survival mode usually when we or they are not incapable of really coming up with a solution that will mentally make us strong to be able to survive, and thus we fall into chaos. The mind will fall into chaos, and all sort of worry, all that will break you down. Worry, anxiety, all that is will bring you closer to chaos. Now, someone who's chaotic, whose life is chaotic, usually when they fall into that, either they haven't really asked for a solution, they haven't come up with a solution to their problems, or probably are not willing to do so, and thus they fall into a deep pit where they now cannot come out of unless they get real help. They can fall into depression, alcoholic. They can turn to alcoholic abuse, drug abuse, all sort of things that will try and get them away from, or get them mentally away from the chaos. They'll turn into sexual exploits. They'll rather not do anything, probably just sleep, do anything that will try and get their minds off the problems that they have, instead of going head on and trying to tackle them. The problem with this sort of solution is that this is exactly, you fall into the chaotic mental state. Now, this really affects a person's life. It's usually not good. You will see this in a lot of people who are just never, whose life are never in order. You make an appointment, they never show up, they never call back, even if it's a very important appointment where both or that particular individual will benefit highly from that meeting or appointment that you've laid out. Now, the chaotic state is something that should be avoided, even though it's there. Everyone goes through this problems, everybody will go through this, but not everyone is able to come with a better solution. That's why it's even very important to seek out guidance and seek out counseling. You seek out advice that will be beneficial to your state at that moment. Most people will be in denial, which is very sad, because once you're in denial is that the fact that you're not willing, or you're willingly avoiding a solution. So you're rationalizing things, and this does not usually end up well, because if you're going to rationalize things, all you're doing is avoiding the necessary steps you're supposed to take to come up with a better solution to your chaotic environment that you found yourself in. And let me tell you, a chaotic environment is not a place to be, because it's a dire environment where nothing productive can be done. All you're doing is just running in a mental state, a secular mental state, where you're going nowhere. You're not even going up. You're probably going down in a spiral. And so, if you find yourself in such a state, I would suggest that you get the proper advice, proper guidance, someone who can guide you out of this, someone you trust, someone you can talk to, someone you think that this person is well put. He has his life in order, and thus he can properly guide me out of this situation. So if you feel like all you're doing is surviving, your finances are not good, your mental state is not good, your health in general is not good, and you seem not to go anywhere, it's very likely you're about to fall into a chaotic mind state, rather. And this should be avoided at all costs, because the chaotic world is not somewhere good to be. So seek the necessary help, the guidance, and you can also listen to people who have gone through this and who have actually been able to get out of this funk and are living now a more productive life. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to live a more productive life. Everyone wants to prosper and live the life that is free from chaos. Anyway, this has been Alfred, and I'd like to thank you once again for joining me, and more knowledge to you. Thanks.